Cowabunga dudes and dudettes, this is Anthony, aka BatBomb82, and today I'll be doing my 157th Mezco Toyz 112 Collective action figure review, this time being of the Mezco exclusive Batman and Two-Face 2-pack. Now taking a look at the front, we can see some great vintage-like artwork of Batman. And if we turn the box around, more great artwork, this time featuring Two-Face. And if we open up the box and remove two smaller boxes, we can see both feature that same great artwork of both individual characters. So with the boxes out of the way, let's go ahead and crack these figures open and let them breathe. Alright guys, so I'm going to start off with Two-Face here, and man, I really dig this just old school colors I should say, of Two-Face. I mean, this era of comic book books was just crazy and weird and wacky, and I love it for that. And I think it's really cool that we're actually getting these more traditional, old school comic book like figures, whereas Mezco tends to give us more updated or their own versions of a character, which is I think is cool. So I do like that we're getting kind of like both, you know what I mean? So that works out really good for me. The head sculpt just looks fantastic. I think they've done such a good job with that. That really nice green there looks really, really good. I love there's like a little bit of the natural skin color peeking through. The eye looks great as well. All that hair just looks awesome. I think they're doing such a good job with that. Then you got more of the Harvey Dent face on that side. And did you guys know Harvey Dent totally rocks an orange suit, which I think is really interesting. But I love the fact that even the shoes are different colors. I think that is really cool, man. You can lift this up a bit. And he's just wearing standard black socks. And you got more of the purple, almost like plaid-like suit on this side. Even the bow tie is two different colors, which I think is really cool too. And you can take this off if you want to. I am not going to, but you can. It is an option there. So I do really like how this turned out. Again, he just looks so old school, man. I love it. I think it's very unique. So running down his accessories, we of course do get the circular base stand that we see with every Mezco figure, which I absolutely love. And of course we also do get the clear articulated arm. We get all kinds of interchangeable hands, so we got more like trigger finger hands, even though he doesn't really come with a gun in this version. We got different types of like coin holding hands, some for each side, for the right orange hand or the purple gloved hand. We got more like hands where he's like twirling the coin between the fingers, which I think looked really rad. Same thing again for the orange side as well. We even have this one right here, which I do love, where it has the coin on the back of the palm right there, so like it landed so on this back of his palm, like he flipped it on there. I think it's really cool, so I love stuff like that. We also do get the bandages that we've seen with the previous release of Two-Face, so you can take these out and wrap around his face like he just had surgery or whatever it is, so that's really cool. We also do get the same things we've seen before, again, with the previous Two-Face. So you got all the little small individual coins. We have the little stiletto knives right here, and then the flipping coin effects, which I think are really, really rad. So I'll show you pictures of all that stuff later, but those are really, really cool. And lastly, we also do get interchangeable heads. So we do got a more Harvey Dent head, which I think looks really cool as well. Very nice looking features. I think the hair turned out really, really good. And then we have this more angry head. So I'm gonna just pop this off. It does come off the base of the neck, and I'm bringing this one in here because I think I'm gonna display him with that one. And I think this looks really cool too. Then more angry teeth. You can see the difference between this one right here. So this one looks awesome in my opinion. So that one is definitely be the one that stays on my particular Two-Face figure. And then the last accessory for him that we do get this really cool briefcase, which I think looks so good. It's just like this torn, worn leather, looking really awesome. The straps do slide through that little slots right there, so you can pull this out open, and you can reveal the dynamite explosives in there, which I think is really cool, real good attention to detail. And I was trying to see if these like are removable. They are not, so I don't know, and they look like separate pieces, so they're probably just glued in there. So again, I really do like this. And again, these little straps can slide in the little hoops like that, like so. If I can get that on there nice and tight, and that works out really good, man. And then any of the hands, I've been using this more trigger finger hand to grip. Since he doesn't have a gun, I just use it to hold this briefcase here, but I think that's super cool. So now moving on to the articulazione. Again, his head is at the base of the neck, so we got that ball peg down there, so that rolls around, does turn left and right, up and down, and kind of pivot side to side a bit. Arms can go all the way up, kinda. The bulkiness of this suit is kind of hindering that a bit, so you would kind of just have to maneuver the fabric here to go up further, go down, up and out pretty far. Does feel like a slight butterfly joint in there. Nothing rotating at the bicep. I'm trying here. Doesn't feel like it. But it does feel like there's about a single bend at the elbow as well as rotation at the elbow. Then you got rotation at the wrist as well as a hinge at the wrist. There does seem to be a double ball peg in the midsection here that goes up into his chest and then down into his crotch. So you get lots of good motion there, left and right, crunches back and forth and pivot side to side. So that's really good. Hips can kick forward that far. Back, not so much. Splits all the way out about that far, so the fabric right here kind of like prevents it from going out even further. So that's about all you're really going to get. We got rotation upper thigh, double jointed knees where he can't kick himself in his own butt, and then a ball peg at the ankle so you can roll that around side to side, up and down, and a sweet ankle rocker. So overall, this old school Two-Face is pretty rad, and super happy that I added him to the collection. Okay, so now let's take a look at Batman himself here, and I love this man. This is more so the less Batman that I grew up on when I was reading comic books, when I first started reading comic books, especially Batman. This is pretty much what I saw in the books, so I think it's really cool that they're doing him like this in figure form. Again, we've gotten so many Batman figures from Mezco, and for me, I am a die-hard Batman fanatic, so I will take every Batman they decide to make, as I'm a Mezcoholic. And I'm all for it, man. I know people are like, oh, another Batman. Doesn't Mezco make anything else but Batman and Gomez figures? Yeah, they make a ton of other stuff, but when they do make a Batman, dude, I jump on that real quick. So I think this looks cool. I love the standard just black bat. I've always preferred the black bat over the yellow oval, you know what I mean? I prefer just the simple black bat. That's just me. And then you can see it is more of like a simple vinyl piece that's just kind of been I guess glued in place or whatever you want to call it onto the fabric there. We do get like leather-like material for the trunks, which is really nice. It's a nice simple yellow belt, which looks really good as well. The gloves looking really good too. Again, very simple, very old school. The boots look really nice. I love this cape. It has that leather-like material. There's bendy wires running through this thing, so I do dig this a lot. It just looks so good. They absolutely did a great job of this. Now, I kind of do prefer a more natural flowing cape, honestly. That's just me in my opinion. But I think they did a really good job with this particular one. I've also heard that people are not really digging the size of his head. I get that, but I also do realize that the art this stuff is based on, Batman low-key kind of had a big old fat squared head, so I get what they were going for. I will agree though, this could probably be just a tiny bit smaller, just not a lot, just a tiny bit, but it doesn't bother me. Again, I know what it's based on. In the books, he always looked like he had a big old fat head, so this captures that perfectly in my opinion. So running down the accessories, we of course do get the circular art base stand right here, which is that great logo. Again, this is the logo that I grew up on, seen on the cover of Batman comics, so I love this so much. And then of course the clear articulated stand. We do get interchangeable hands. We do get closed-fisted hands, more gripping hands, more stylized fingered posing hands, more flat stretched out fingered hands. I mean, pretty much everything you're going to need, even more like karate chopping hands from when he's doing his hi-ya kind of stuff. So I do love that a lot. We do get a bunch of interchangeable heads, which is super cool. This is more standard one where he's just kind of, I don't know what you would call that, kind of low-key smiling. I don't know what that, I guess, I mean, kind of semi-neutral. But then we have this one which looks a little more neutral, and see, this one looks like he's more smiling compared to this one, so I think this one's more neutral and a little more squinted eyes. You also do get this one right here where he's definitely more smiling. You can see the little curl in his brow and his lips a little more curled up, so this one's definitely a little more laughing. So these are very kind of similar. Then we do get a more angry head where he's just pissed off, showing off his teeth. And again, I'm glad those teeth look good, because we all know Mezco does not do teeth all that great all the time, but they've been getting better, so thankfully that looks really good too. But what I do like, we get an unmasked Bruce Wayne head, which I think looks really cool too, as well as a downed cowl. So you can actually slip this cowl over like that and then put the Bruce Wayne head on like so, and then there you go. And I think that looks really cool too. And again, he still has that big old squared head that he did in the comics, and I think it looks really good. Again, a little big, I agree with you guys, but I don't mind it. And you can see how the cowl just kind of rests back there as well. So I think that's a really cool option. We also do get this like breathing type of device here. It does have like a tiny little magnet on the center. You can see that in there. And this is kind of just rests into the faces like that. It'll kind of go over the nose. And that's pretty cool. I do like the fact that you included stuff like this. Again, when Mezco makes Batman figures, they always give him like the coolest accessories in my opinion. Is that just me? I think they do give him the best accessories. You know, this protect him from like the Joker or Scarecrow gases and things like that. Or maybe he uses this when he's going swimming underwater and helps him breathe. You know, whatever. Do with what you like. It's your toy, play with it however you wish. So I love that a lot. So I'm gonna put him over, you know, like so. We also do get a couple of batarangs right here. We do get this really nice blue one, which is a little larger, and then we do get this really nice little red one like that. So I love having the different options as well. And again, Mezco always gives us a ton of different types of batarangs, which I genuinely do appreciate. We also do get a batarang. If I could actually pick this up with my big fat fingers, a battery with a nice little string attached to it too, so that's really cool. You can do all kinds of things. I gotta wrap it around an enemy, make it hanging like he's climbing up a building, whatever you might want to do. We also get the same one right here, but this one is with a bendy string, so you can pose that around however you like. So I think that's really cool for like action figure photography and stuff, so that works out super good as well. We get these little like ball batarangs that, you know, you could throw and it'll tie up the legs and make them trip, and, or, you know, tie them up and hold them down, stuff like that. So I think that's really cool too. Nice little string attachment to that. But you also do get the same one right here, but with a bendy wire as well. So again, you could pose this around, which I think is really cool for photography. So I do love that. A really cool unique accessory is this little belt buckle. Again, my fat fingers, man. You guys don't know my plight. Or maybe you do, I don't know. But this looks really cool. It's a simple belt buckle accessory, but it also doubles as a communicator on the other side or some type of gadget. This is very cool, man. Very old school comic booky of those days, you know what I mean? Batman really used his utility belt in a lot of different ways, and I think it's super unique that they give us stuff like that. So very, very fun in my opinion. Now the last things that we do get are going to be these like whooshing punching effects, which I think are rad. We've seen these before. They did come with, I believe, the Advent calendar that we just recently got last year. These are done in a nice translucent yellow plastic. You know, you just kind of plug them into a fist. You can see that where the fist will go inside in there. And then we do get these actual effect pieces like sparking blast effects, whatever you want to call it. Again, we've seen these before. And you'll see like a little C-clip on the back of them like so, and they'll kind of just like rest on there in these little sections like that, and they'll hold on like there as well. So those look really cool. Again, more for like action figure photography. What I do like a little bit better about the ones that came with the Advent calendar, those had printed like comic book wording on here, like pow and ka-chow and things like that, you know, kind of give it that comic book burst effect kind of sounds, you know what I mean? I always thought that was really cool, and when I saw those, like, oh, those are definitely gonna come with this Batman set. Sure enough, they do. These are just done in simple yellow, no wording on them, but you could mix and match them. They're all gonna work out. So I think these are honestly a lot of fun. Oh, and I almost forgot, there actually is a third batarang here that can like kind of open and close, which I think is really cool. So that's very unique, and this thing is pointy, man. It is stabbing my fingers here, and I can kind of open it, kind of close it. It's actually really tight, but it does work, trust me, it does work. But I do think that's super cool. So now moving on to articulation here, and honestly, this guy is a lot of fun to pose around. He's very poseable in my opinion. So the head is on a ball joint, rolls all the way around, does turn left and right, up and down, that far and down that much. It does pivot side to side. Arms can go all the way up, all the way down, up and out that far. We do get a butterfly joint in there, rotation at the bicep, double jointed elbows, rotation at the wrist, as well as a hinge at the wrist. That works out very nicely. We get a double ball peg in the midsection right here, so that rolls around, does turn left and right, pivot side to side, and crunches back and forth quite a bit. So again, that works out really good. I will say this belt is kind of finicky. It will constantly ride up and you kind of have to keep pushing it down every time you're posing it. So luckily I pushed mine down enough to where it's not really bothering me all that much, but it's still going to happen. So just be careful with that. It is a separate piece and you will have to mess with it. Hip joints are kicked forward that much, back not so much, splits all the way out about that far, rotation in the upper thigh, double jointed knees where he kick himself in his own butt, rotation at the boot, ankles are on ball pegs, so those roll around, turns left and right, up and down, and a sweet ankle rocker. So overall, Batman is so dope. Again, I kind of realized, you know, a lot of people are kind of done with getting Batman figures from Mezco. I am not. I will never be. I think they make the best Batman figures out there. I also understand that this is not going to be the Batman for everybody, as he's, you know, a little more old school, a little more traditional. Not everyone is into that older look. I get that. Even with his Two-Face, this might be a little too wacky for people. I personally love them for those old crazy colors, these old weird looks. I think they're very fun, very different from what we would normally get with Mezco, which I think is a good thing. And in my opinion, these are both a definite must get. So for a quick size comparison, here they are sitting next to a Marvel Legends Deadpool and Mafex Batman figure. Also for comparison, here they are sitting next to a Mezco 112 Collective Supreme Knight Batman and Two-Face. And for even more comparison, here they are sitting next to a Mezco Reeve Superman and Deluxe Joker. And just for fun, here they are with little Lego Bat Bomb. So there it is, guys, my review of the Mezco 112 Collective Batman and Two-Face 2-pack. Now overall, I think this is a really fun and unique set. It's so old schooly and I love that. It has that vibe of the old Mezco toys, which I think were super cool back then, and this is definitely a nice upgrade to that. Now I'm also very aware that this set isn't going to be for everyone, as maybe not everyone really likes or understands this era of comic books and this era of looks. I personally think it's a lot of fun. The colors are so vibrant on both character, with that blue and yellows, and then those oranges and purples with that really green gaga face green. It's just so weird and so awesome, so fun, so unique, and all the accessories that we do get are a ton of fun. Two-Face gets a lot of those same accessories we've seen before with the coin flip and coin flipping effects. We get that really cool briefcase with a dynamite time bomb in there. That's really cool too. And the punching effects for Batman, all the different styles of batarangs, and the different gadgets like that belt buckles are also really cool. I think it's awesome that we're getting so many options, especially when it comes to head sculpts. We're getting so many head sculpts with this set, which is great. I'm always for more options. Now I know, again, this is not going to be for everyone, but it's for people like me who love yet another Mezco Batman, and hey, I get an extra Two-Face in the process, a very old school Two-Face. That's super rad to me. So in my opinion, this is a totally cool set and a definite must get. So be excellent to each other and stay nerdy, my friends. Peace.